Delhi Capitals have won, and not just won, they've won by a very big margin, that of 6 wickets, ensuring that they reach their target with about 11.1 overs to spare, which is going to give them a massive boost in terms of net run rate. Not only is this a slightly surprising victory, because most people would have, unlike us though, in our room here, majority had picked Delhi to win today, but I'm saying because of the form that we've seen so far, it was Gujarat that probably started as the slight favourite. So not only is it a big upset in terms of the result, but also in the fashion that it's come, and suddenly will make a major dent to Gujarat's chances, whereas propelling Delhi higher up in the points table, not so much to us to start dreaming about top 4. Who knows, maybe a couple of wins and they could still think about that, but at least not being where they could have been, or they were to begin the season with, bottom of the table. They've moved up from there. I don't know whether do they reach 6 now?
They potentially could. Again, we'll have to wait and see what the net run rate works out to be. But they're definitely moving one place above, so they're not going to be 9th anymore. They're definitely going 8 for sure. But do they actually go ahead and dislodge Gujarat Titans from that 6th place that they presently occupy?
They will.
That is
They
something.
will.
So if that's the case, then they become the 6th place team with this
but that's
extremely
really
positive result.
That's really interesting. They will become 6th. I just looked at the
And
net run
Gujarat
rate.
will slip to 9th.
Yeah, Gujarat will. What that tells you is that the teams are so closely packed together, barring a Rajasthan which has taken an extended lead, and a Royal Challengers Bangalore that has fallen way behind. So there's RCB right at the bottom, and you got a Rajasthan which is slightly pulling away. Every other team in the middle, that bunch of 8 teams, closely knit, because one loss and one win is going to now push them really up or down that points table, which means to say 8 teams still in either finishing outside the top 4 or finishing in the top 4 at the end of the season. So that's very interesting. Imagine Delhi now from second last are suddenly going to go 6th. So just a couple slots less than the top 4. Who would have thought they were last at that time? Gujarat had a decent start. They were in the top 4 as far as I can remember.
6? No, they were always, because they were winning one, lose one kind of form.
So
they never really had a consistent
that
run.
lost
5th
3-1-3.
I remember when they were just on the edge. 5th I remember. So from 5th, if they go to 9th, see how much they
big
move.
drop.
It's basically from on the cusp of a playoff spot to on the cusp of wooden spoon. That's how steep the drop is.
It is, and now you're going to have that mid-table scramble become so much more complicated, because now with Delhi's win, tomorrow you have another table churn in the form of MI versus PBKs. One victory there for them, and suddenly, as we have always stated, 3 and 4, most likely 4th position, is never a done deal until the last week of the IPL league stages.
Yeah, which is why I said that I'm not writing Mumbai Indians off even now. I think they're a very strong team. Let's say if they were to win tomorrow, they can potentially go to 5th, which is just outside the top 4. A win there and they just suddenly come into the top 4 conversation. That's how close the table is. Interesting. That's what you want the IPL to be.
Yep.
You want it to be close. It always is, barring 1 or 2 teams that effectively decide their own fate, whether it is to top or whether it is to finish last, as it's happening in this
Or
season.
to finish 6th. There is one team that's made the 6th spot.
Are they
their own.
6th right now?
They're not.
They're not, but they were prior to the previous match that they played.
PBKS.
Top 6 is our everything.
Yes.
PBKS.
I mean, this is as close to a perfect day as you would want if you're a Delhi Capitals fan. I mean,
The most lopsided contest this IPL?
yes.
Yeah, 110%.
Right?
Yeah.
And we've seen a fair
Scorecard.
few, mind you.
Scorecard says
Maybe
it.
the RCB KKR game.
No, but that's what I'm saying. You have RCB KKR, MI KKR, but those still had a decent amount of runs scored. They were getting 180 odd, 190 odd. This is 90 odd.
Even KKR DC was very lopsided. 106 runs. Yeah.
106 run victory. Yeah, that was also academic after a point, but still.
But still, this is the most lopsided.
Oh yeah, of this
This
season.
is the earliest finish this IPL, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely yes.
There have been times where we've been halfway through the innings and they'll just start taking timeouts. Someone will break a stump.
So I have $1 million question. Now this is the most lopsided win that we have seen. And even after this, Harshad is not happy.
My team's not top of the table. They
So
aren't.
kya chahiye? Matlab, what would you want for you to be happy? Like if I was Rishabh Pant,
Yeah.
and they have these fan connect exercises,
Sessions,
they,
whatever.
they meet and greet somewhere. So you are introduced to him in one of the sessions. Rishabh, please meet one of our diehard fans, but the hardest fan to please, who never is happy or excited after a team's performance. He either never gives us credit. He either puts it down to luck, sometimes he puts it down to shock, sometimes he puts it down to the other team goofing up, but is just the most difficult man to please. So then Rishabh says, okay, हर्षित भाई, हमारी टीम क्या करेगी कि आप कुछ खुश होगे, कुछ एनर्जी दिखाओगे? तो what will be your answer?
Firstly, I will tell that the time that I said that there was a little bit of luck that favored the team, I'd say it was only 30%, but 70% was all the good work that you did and the team did. The other thing I would say, and I'll keep it very short, say I'm going to be with you. I'm going to be with the team. I've been associated with the team longer than you've skippered or even been with the franchise.
How?
Yeah,
As a fan?
Yeah, as a fan.
I thought you were also
So I'm gonna.
helping
So you
them
have
out.
my support. So you have my support regardless. But if you want a
No,
celebration,
answer to the question.
yeah. So
Okay,
that's
what will this team will have to do for you to jump out of your seat?
win the title. Nothing less.
That is such a hard.
Nothing
fact.
less than that.
Yeah, that.
It's been a
You're not-
long wait. So and again,
that, yeah, it's too
yeah,
tough. You're asking for the moon.
no.
Poor guys. Yeah. Nothing
There are
less
other
than a
teams
win
that-
will not make you happy.
no.
Nothing less than a winning the title will not make you
Yeah,
happy.
it's been
very
it's
hard.
been 16 years and counting. There are
Very
teams
hard.
that have notched up 5 titles, 2 titles, and whatnot.
Sure, but now you're that burden you're putting it on this team. It's such a hard taskmaster.
But again, I'm not here to just be part of the competition, and just because I'm there, I'm going to compete every year. That doesn't count or call for a celebration. We're still mid-table. It's not been a flawless season of sorts. We've seen a flawless season or two from other teams. We've seen other teams again, get the better of you on 4 occasions already.
That happens with every team. Yeah.
But that's fine. I'm saying you've seen. So again,
They have
it's
beaten CSK, the most successful team in the IPL. That didn't make you.
No,
happy.
actually, they've beaten last year's finalists now. Look at it that way.
You have now beaten
And
a 2022 champion. You've beaten a 5-time champion. What more do you want?
And you've beaten them, like, not beaten them, hammered them. Hammered them.
Like you've beaten them so
if
black
I was
and blue.
a Delhi Capitals fan, I mean, today, I don't know what tomorrow they lose,
Holds.
then I'll be whatever. Today, I would have been.
I mean,
in the grander scheme of things, it won't count.
I would have been
If you're
like,
not winning the title,
आज का खाना मेरी तरफ से type.
Yeah.
I would have been.
not yet, not so soon.
no, I mean,
not
see,
so
look at
soon.
it this way. This is the Gujarat Titans team who've been beaten so black and blue that their skin color is now resembling their jerseys. And this guy is just like,
Yep. So confirmation minus 0.07. You now are 6th in
Now
the team.
are
ooh.
Said that. Had to happen.
Yeah.
Had to happen. I said a big win. And I like the attitude by the Delhi team. One thing, of course, their bowlers are brilliant and we'll get to that. But the one thing that I really like from them, because see, sometimes for a lot of batters, it's about getting runs. They would say that, hey, today is a done deal. We are going to win the game anyway. Let me work on my averages. Let me work on my,
Strike rates.
not even so much strike rate, but total runs. Later,
Get my
I'd be,
runs up, yeah.
yeah, later I would be spoken about that this guy got runs, this one didn't get runs. So it was a good opportunity. Prithvi Shaw could have batted aram se and taken some runs. McCurk could have done that. Abhishek Porel did not need to keep attacking like that.
Yeah.
Picked up his runs. Shehope could have, but what I liked from Delhi is, and there was a clear diktat, they were told, boss, go all out. Because there's like just a 5% chance we're going to lose from here. So might as well make most of it. Even if we keep losing the wickets, just keep attacking. Because the quicker we finish, let's make use of that opportunity of really improving our net run rate. Because as we all know, more often than not, there will be those 3-4 teams fighting towards the end and all will boil down to the net run rate. So not a bad thing. I like that attitude. And for each player, including the captain in Rishabh Pant, to have followed that. Rishabh himself could have said, forget it, we are winning from here. But he was trying to hit it out. It wasn't easy against
Scratchy
the
though.
spinners.
He was scratchy for his
because
16
the two
runs.
best spinners were
Was also
at
bowling,
that
yes. Some of those shots weren't on again with him, losing the grip of his bat.
But team ahead.
Yes.
Everyone
Again,
put that.
So
Everyone
when the captain also walks the talk, it's always a good message that it sends out to the other players as well, and it talks at large about what the team had in mind when you looked at this lower total to be chased down, and I completely agree with you as far as mentality is concerned. And because I am pretty critical on most occasions, let's say, of the mentality of the team on most days, today I like the intent with the bat. Also, that you didn't sort of say, okay, this is a shot for us, let's go ahead and take our sweet time, let some of the batters get into form. The idea was very clear, and to give somebody like an Abhishek Porel, because he can really be that explosive batter, for Rishabh Pant to have him also go ahead of you was also a good sign.
By the way, a little bit, I know that he got hammered, but it's the first time I saw Sandeep Warrior. This was his debut, right?
Yes.
So
No, his debut for, I think,
GT.
Yeah,
for
for
GT.
GT.
Yeah. So, I mean, first time, he has played before, but the first time, I really saw him up close. He can crank it up.
Yes.
He can crank it up. Tall blow, can get good bounce.
Nice build.
Yeah, and I liked his attitude as well. Quite humble when he received the cap to be making his debut at that time, as excited. And then even when he picked up the wicket, those couple of wickets, because they were going after him. I've seen now that it's become a norm with most bowlers, mouthing off a word or two after getting the better of the batter, especially once he's hammered. Nothing like that. Just went about his business. Some good pace, some good bounce. I like the look of him. He's someone. Again, I don't want to jump the gun and say future star or nothing. But I'm saying somebody you can work with. Somebody who has a few qualities that you can require or that you require to succeed at the highest level. If he is there, if I'm the selector or if I'm any team, IPL team, I want to keep a close eye on it and work on him gradually to maybe take him to that level, like the looks of him.
The Kerala school of bowling, if you look at it.
No wonder that those long limbs and all of that.
You have long limbs, if you have to look at it,
Very
there's
athletic.
Tinu Johanan.
That's what I'm saying, very athletic. Kerala, you get these athletic
Srisant,
people.
he had the best grip and release that I can ever think
all
of.
your 400-meter runners,
Yeah.
currently when you run your relays, majority, whether it's the men's team or the women's team, most of them are all from Kerala.
Yes, absolutely.
So they have that typical, physique to be athletes, and he just looks like that.
Yeah, good lengths, but I also think that the situation was anyway lost. Why would he then want to sully it further by mouthing off when you know that the position is not in your hands?
No, because you create a name, na. Bowlers think they do that, then they'll be spoken out, and
By the way,
looked at.
Harshit Rana, after those flying kisses, I think he's kind of.
Oh, he's dialed it down big time.
Yeah, because he had to pay 12 lakh or whatever the fine. He had to
Listen, if you're in a franchise with Gautam Gambhir and you're being told to dial it down, then you've crossed the line too far. Simple as.
Gautam Gambhir said that.
No, I'm saying if you're in a franchise who has a Gautam Gambhir, known to be an aggressive guy, embodies that mentality, and if that franchise is telling you, listen, calm it a bit,
That is very.
then you've really
surprising.
crossed the line.
Yeah, indeed.
But would have impressed Gambhir nonetheless.
Delhi Pacer doing well, Gambhir would have been a happy chappy.
Yeah, indeed.
Gujarat, let's talk about the team. 2 seasons, finalist, winners, one. Forget being a finalist, I think that's way off. Forget even being title contenders. Do you see them looking like a top 4 team?
No.
No, sadly, not at all.
I didn't keep them in the top 4.
Neither did I.
I had them,
But okay, our Sports Today 4 did.
No, we didn't because I got outvoted.
Okay, since you had it, what has made you change the mind?
See,
Their
I
form?
mean, they've a lot of their key players. See, I think what helped them a lot in the 2 years that they were doing well was that every batter had a role and they stuck to that role. So, for instance, and I go by that right at the top of the order as well. You'd have a Saha who was only told to do one thing: whack from ball 1. Don't think about how many runs you're getting. Nothing matters. You just have to be aggressive. Gill was a little bit more composed, collected, although he also would at times take the attack. Last 2 seasons, he's been batting a strike rate about 140 odd, which is above his career average as far as strike rate goes. then the middle order would come in and play according to situation. You'd have a Sai Sudarshan or an Abhinav Manohar coming in at that 3 position, Pandey at 4. They were all situational. Then the lower order would be attacking very well. Miller at 5, Tewatia at 6, Rashid at 7. So it was a very clearly defined setup and everyone did their jobs to perfection. Now this year they've been hampered by 2 major things. One is the loss of 2 top tier talents in a Hardik Pandya and Mohammad Shami. And the rest of the structure has crumbled. It's like a Jenga structure. You remove just one little thing and boom, everything has fallen apart. That's what's happened to them. I thought they would be able to kind of plow past that. I expected there'd be rough patches, but they'd be there and thereabouts because by and large the core didn't change. But I think they've struggled with that transition. They've not been able to replace a Pandya or for that matter a Shami. And well, that's it. It's showing.
I think they are cursed. They're not playing my favorite player. They have
Ravi
to play.
Srinivasan.
Ravi Srinivasan, Sai Kishore.
Yes, till they play Sai Kishore, who I've been saying from the very first game. You got to play him. They're not playing him. No, but seriously, not that just one player comes and changes it. Of course, I think he will make the team slightly better, but not to say that results completely change. But yeah, I think their bowling is quite steady. I think will be steady. That's been their strength, and I don't think they've really weakened there as such. But yeah, it is their batting, and they need to sort that out. That opening thing is not working. You went with Saha not working, and you just got wait for a game. I mean, I think you needed to persist with that. Maybe looking, that's why I said you bring a Sai Kishore in, frees up a spot for an overseas player. That's how you bring a Wade in. Some sort of explosiveness is needed because, I mean, while Shubman is in good form, you need 2 openers firing. I mean, look how it's worked for Delhi today. As I said, blessing in disguise. No David Warner. See how good they're looking with the bat today.
If it was David Warner, they would have won it in 12 overs.
Yeah, and today they won it in 9.
9 overs. I mean, look at it. The top scorer is Jake Fraser McGurk.
20 runs.
20 runs. That's the top score on the Delhi side. But look at the contrast in the Delhi and the Gujarat side. I mean, the bowlers were so spot on in the Delhi Capitals lineup. Only 3 batters in the Gujarat Titans lineup got 130 plus. Here, 200, 214, 190, 145. The lowest was 100 by Sumit Kumar.
See, in the benefit of hindsight also, if you know what target you're chasing and if you're going only for quick fire aggressive runs, you're going to be getting those kind of strike rates. See, the bowling did the job, made it much easier for the batters. Go out there. This is the best kind of situation to be a batter because no consequences and no scoreboard pressure. Go and batter everyone.
Yeah, I mean, look at a Jake Fraser McGurk. I mean, he just gave room, used to smash everything on the offside. His offside play today was much better.
And look at, you're talking about runs. Interesting you mentioned Jake because again, he's got 20 runs. All of them came with boundaries.
Yes.
2 sixes and 2 fours. That's it. He was only looking to deal in boundaries. Didn't matter. Nothing
That
else
heavy
mattered.
backlift, his stance, gave it away. That he's not there to bide his time or anything. It's in the arc. If it's short, he's going to be going after it. Yeah, the bowler was just smart on that particular occasion where he followed him, then ended up chipping it to mid wicket. But the intention was very clear. But I want to just go back to the point about GT that we were talking about. I think 2 things are really ailing them right now. He's still getting runs, let's say, from the top because Shubman Gill gave you runs last year. He's still giving you those starts this year as well. He's still there and thereabouts as far as runs are concerned. But I think on 2 counts where they're really struggling is the fact that Mohit Sharma is not having the kind of year that he was having last year. He's not amongst the wickets that much. And the other replacement, the replacement of Mohammad Shami and that is Spencer Johnson. He is really not setting the stage on fire. Yes, he's got the pace, but he's not having the kind of impact that you thought that a replacement for Mohammad Shami would have. The other factor that I think is the presence of David Miller in the middle order. He's also not come to the party as yet. The day that he starts to fire, I think a lot of the problems get solved over here. It makes life easy for somebody like a Tewatia, and it also gets the better or the best, let's say, out of somebody like a Rashid also lower down the order. Because see, if there's somebody taking custody of things or taking matters in their own hands in every department, you've got a Gill taking things in his own hands right at top. If a Miller also steps aside, I know he's missed out on a couple of matches because of injury, but prior to that as well, the 3 games that he played, Didn't see a healthy contribution from him. So if these guys are to step up, let's say the ones who were performing so well for them over the last couple of years, then I think they can again be looking at that team that could finish, let's say, 4th. But otherwise, they're really struggling.
Go back to that same thing about those two guys who went, Hardik and Mohammad Shami. 2022 and 2023, what was the template in the batting? This time it's their batting that is letting them down in a big way. There was stability in the middle order.
No, Siddharth, there's one more thing. The bowling, I would say much more, because this was also a side that was picking a lot of wickets. I can't remember the stat though, but because Rashid, Shami,
that's the one guy.
Rashid, Shami, Mohit, the kind of combination that they had, they were, just can't recall the stat, but they had this particular stat of picking the most wickets as
28,
well.
27 and 23.
Or dismissing
Both of them,
sides.
all of them were in contention for the
purple cap.
Yes.
So the fact that they were bowling teams out or were consistently picking 8-9 wickets is what made them a very good unit.
One more factor in that is Noor has not been in form.
Noor,
But
but
Noor
Mohit
was
also.
he was always one of those guys who would be in and out of the side.
No, last year he was very
last year he was
consistent.
Very consistent.
We finished 2nd or 3rd highest wicket
Yeah.
taker over.
You know,
And and that's after coming in with
the
like 4 or
IPL.
5 games played.
yes. You see, the other thing is in 2020 and 2023, why I'm saying the battings let them down is, when was the last time you saw so many chopping and changes in the Gujarat Titans?
No, I understand that, but that was also because 2 of the changes they made were recalling first teamers. They were they were taking out a way to bring back Miller, who's a guaranteed starter. They were taking out, what's that wicketkeeper's name?
B.R. Sharath.
B.R. Sharath, yeah. B.R. Sharath, and bringing in a Saha who was a guaranteed starter. That I agree though, is that, also one more problem really exacerbated. They were always a much better chasing side. The Gujarat Titans.
Yeah.
Much better as a chasing side. We saw it in 22, even last year. Their bowlers, they would rely on their bowlers to get teams out or restrict the runs, and then the batters could play percentage cricket, because if you know what you're chasing, it does help a lot.
I mean, see, they chased against RR. By the skin of their teeth, they chased that.
Yeah.
They have lost chasing to, I think, CSK. I think they lost chasing that. So even their strongest suit is going against them, it's caught up with them, because a Miller is injured and has not been in form. That is ensured that there's more pressure on Tewatia and Rashid. Abhinav Manohar and Sai Sudarshan. Sai Sudarshan also used to be in good form in 2023.
Yeah.
But even he is also not in good form.
And now he's a ODI player playing at a strike rate of 100.
Saha also not chipping in. So Saha, Sai Sudarshan, Miller, 3 of your most competent top 4 are not contributing. Which meant increased thing on Shubman Gill. Shubman Gill was anyway carrying the batting on his shoulders last year, 890 runs. Now, half of that if he gets, the Gujarat batting just doesn't look in good shape at this point.
Doesn't.
Okay, moving on to the biggest talking point of the game, Rishabh Pant. I said this, all eyes on him, because every game that he plays, initially it was all empathy, sympathy, that he's made a comeback, he's keeping all of that. But now I think you're going to be judging him competitively, and that is what is happening with every game. Today was outstanding behind the stumps. What have you made of Rishabh Pant, and where does he stand in that race for the T20 World Cup?
It is a very close tussle
Between?
Sanju and Rishabh. Now, it may be safe to say that it's probably boiled down to 2. Because see, Jitesh, he will be playing his 7th game tomorrow. So far, if you compare the returns, if you compare the wicket keeping, Sanju and Rishabh are heads miles above. Either miles ahead of a Jitesh Sharma. But again, today Rishabh Pant batted at number 5. Sanju Samson he's been batting at 3 in this IPL 2024. Jitesh is the only guy who's batting in that position.
And DK.
And that is why you are holding on to that. You're holding on to that one thought only. Runs, strike rate. Runs, strike rate are not happening. But I think now with this performance of Pant also, it's honestly boiled down to just a Sanju and a Rishabh who might be selected. Who goes in the playing 11, I don't know. But I think.
But for you, are you keeping Jitesh? For you?
No, he's kept only 2.
I've kept only 2.
Jitesh for you is not.
No, it's
no
only
longer
a Sanju
competing.
versus Pant. And these two are in the 15.
Okay, nice.
I am still not convinced by Pant for the very simple reason that I know he's been doing very well, but the burden of the past with him holds up very heavy for me. It was the same reason I wasn't comfortable with the Kohli Rohit recall, and I dare say that Kohli's numbers in T20 are significantly better. I think he's got striking at about 138 odd
Yes.
in T20 Is. Still not happy with that because we saw what was happening last time. We'd get bogged down in pressure situations, and okay, the difference between say him and a Sanju is that Sanju more often than not has the mentality of that from ball one I'm going to go for it. Pant more often than not as a batter has played himself in, then made up for it later on. That's great if you're a middle order batter, but is he going to be a middle order batter? No, he's going to be a lower order batter. 6 at best. At best, okay, if you really want to be generous, 5. If you really want to be generous. Other than that, no. And the only time at that position you have to play yourself in is if the team's had an almighty collapse. And I still don't remain convinced. Having said that, that's my personal thing. For
You
me,
have to pay.
it's Jitesh and Sanju still. But I know what team management is going to do. I think Pant makes it in.
So what does the team management do?
Pant and Sanju. Jitesh goes.
And your
Soft target.
in your
Jitesh and Sanju. I stick with the two who I had previously.
okay.
I'll first name the two that I have in mind, given what I've seen in the IPL. For me, Jitesh still stays number 1. Number 2 becomes Rishabh Pant.
Why does Jitesh stay number 1?
Because he's the only one performing the role that he eventually is expected to perform. Sanju and Rishabh do have the numbers right now, which look very, very flattering in comparison to Jitesh's, which are very, very pale in comparison. But you're comparing the wrong numbers. It's an apples versus orange comparison. Yes, the role's the same, but the position's starkly different. So if you're just looking from the perspective of having somebody bat at number 6, 7 for you in the Indian team, then you might as well not look at what Rishabh and Sanju are doing. It's because of their skill set behind the wickets that they become part of the conversation. Otherwise, you can just have anyone else batting at number 3 be part of this particular debate, but they're just there because they know how to keep the wickets. As far as and why I have Pant ahead of a Sanju who has been a part of the setup over the last 12 months in Rishabh's absence is because behind the wickets, Pant impresses me a little more than Sanju right now. I've seen him take a couple of diving catches, and I'm not saying that Sanju's done anything wrong, but Rishabh has just been a notch above him in terms of being sharp behind the stumps. Number 2 is the fact that Sanju, as we've seen in the past as well, there is a little bit of luck. I won't say luck. There is a little bit of empathy that Rishabh will continue, and he's the nation's darling. Let's say with his exploits in another format, another series, another part of the world, everything put together, there is that little bit of an edge that he anyway enjoys over Sanju Samson. And Sanju, as we've seen in the past, has been a soft target. He's the easy one to keep out, so he then misses out for me.
Okay. So
But the Indian team will go with, because I didn't name who the Indian team will be going with. I think the Indian team will go ahead with Rishabh Pant and Sanju Samson.
and
Jitesh.
you are going with Jitesh and Rishabh.
Rishabh Pant.
You're leaving Sanju out. Okay, today's match is the one thing that really stood out for anyone. It wasn't so much Rishabh Pant's batting, but Rishabh Pant's glove work.
Yeah.
He was outstanding behind the stumps. That's a standout feature that he's got. But also what tends to happen in T20 cricket, that you're not really looking at the glove work. I mean, Test cricket, you put a lot of emphasis on how the wicketkeeper is performing. T20 cricket, not so much. And pretty much all of them are very close to each other. But I guess because now we're dealing with fine margins and there is a race happening between multiple contenders, I think, that will also come into play. And I think it will only add to the weight that Rishabh Pant already has. There are multiple reasons why he's going to be enjoying it. And like it or not, we sometimes do mixed formats. And while I agree with Shane that Rishabh Pant in T20 formats overall hasn't been great, even before his unfortunate accident, never really,
Set the stage on fire.
not that kind of a dasher that you were looking at. Yes, Test cricket, just a different beast altogether. ODI cricket also outstanding. T20 cricket hadn't done it in the past. I agree all that. But I guess the sentiments are with him. Also, a long-term memory. We have short memories in that sense. And thirdly, we mix format. So perception is a major thing, and I think that is going to play a major role when the team is selected. And which is why I think that Rishabh Pant, for me now, 100% is making it to the squad. When the squad is going to be announced, he's 100% going. I think the one thing that is going to go in his favor a lot of it is, we sometimes don't talk about it, is him being left-hander. So there are not too many lefties that you'll have. Of course, you may have a Rinku, but you don't know whether Rinku fits into their 11. I know people are talking about a Dubey, but still there is a long shot. I doubt he will even make it to the, even to the 15. I think, he'll struggle. Now you had another left-hander as your opener in Yashasvi Jaiswal. Now there are even going to be question marks there, because if Virat is going to open with Rohit, or even if Shubman Gill in the form that usually is showing, whether he goes as a backup. So plenty of issues there in terms of left-handers. Then the only other option you have, or which you were doing, was to send a Akshar or a Jadeja or one of them to do. So the lack of that left-hander, I think that will also force them. So I think now it's pretty much done, whether you agree with it or you don't, and I think there are valid arguments on both sides, but I'm only talking about in terms of how selectors will be looking at. I think it's pretty much done that I think Rishabh Pant will be going for that World Cup. Now comes the slot of the second wicketkeeper. By the way, it's even going to be tough to slot in 2 wicketkeepers, because when we discussed, when we were making our 15 that day, do we put in an extra spinner? Do we put in an extra fast bowler? Because we were restricting ourselves to just 3 fast bowlers. But on some occasion, if 3 are playing, you need at least 1 backup, and so on. So there are plenty of issues. Then if you don't go with a backup, opener, but I think you will have to go with that as well. So too many issues. But while there is a school of thought that don't take a backup wicketkeeper, I doubt that they are going to do that. You will have to take a backup wicketkeeper for the simple reason, God forbid there's an injury to one of your wicketkeeper, you will have to make a permanent change in your 15.
Exactly.
Fine, I know that you will take extra reserves alongside 15, but if you were to take a wicketkeeper as an extra reserve, imagine a niggle and your wicketkeeper doesn't play, you'll have to make a permanent change to the 15. That could really upset you going forward, and the one who goes out is going to find it very tough, or I don't think can come back into the 15, the one who's replaced. Yeah. So that's a major call. So whatever said and done, I think you will go with 2 wicketkeepers. You will have to go with 2 wicketkeepers because of the compulsion. The second wicketkeeper slot, I think Jitesh might fall prey to the recency bias.
Yes.
While I think it's going to be very unfair, I was just looking at some of the stats. I think because your wicketkeeper now only bats at 6, 7, maybe at 5 on a good day, where you push a Hardik to a 6, that's the best day that you're putting him at 5. In that scenario, you are looking at strike rates of first 10 deliveries or something, or first 10, 12, something like that. And in that stat, I was reading a piece the other day which suggested that Jitesh is the best amongst all. The first 10 balls. So his totals may not be massive, but it's those 10 balls, he'll have the first 10 balls, the best strike rate. And I think that's the role you're doing. But I think all of that will be ignored because no one really gets down to the nitty gritties of that. Yeah. You will look at the macro picture. As the picture stands right now, Rishabh Pant, as I said, is 100% going to be there. Your second option, the way he's going right now, is going to be a Sanju Samson, unless you try and kill 2 birds with 1 stone and get a KL Rahul who then goes as a wicket as an opener. I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want that. I don't think anyone in this room would want that. And by the way, whatever little I know of what is being spoken about, I don't think even the selectors are thinking like that.
Yeah.
I just gave you the option. As far as I know, that the think tank is not even thinking on that. Because there are reasons for that. And there's a big reason for that is because you already have 2-3 opening backups, and any way to drop any one of them. By the way, people, we were discussing the other day, we put the video out, that Yashasvi Jaiswal in that scenario looks like the easy target if you had to drop an opener. In case, if Virat and Rohit are opening, assuming you still need a backup, and if you only take one, then Gill, because of his form, you go. But even if that is the scenario, how do you drop a Yashasvi Jaiswal from your 11? That's why I still believe you will have a Virat batting at number 3 only. You will have to have a Yashasvi open simply for the fact every other team in the world plays a left-hand, right-hand opening combination. You see, it's become, otherwise you will have a left-arm spinner bowling up front. Most teams will do that or that kind of thing. You will have to have a left-arm batter to be batting on top. And maybe Yashasvi, I hope there is no recency bias, because in whatever little, time that Yashasvi played, he showed you that he does not care about his run. He's the one guy, I will say, he's the one guy who always put the team first and said, I will attack. Doesn't matter if I get runs. And that's a rare quality which we've discussed anywhere your batting order doesn't have. So if you've got a guy like that and he's a left-hander and you want to do, he should be your opener alongside Rohit Sharma because it's already announced. And then you go with anyone else. So with that in mind, because you're not looking at that, so then KL Rahul doesn't come in. That's why I think it's going to be Samsung as well as Rishabh Pant. Unfortunate as it sounds for Jitesh, and I think it is really unfortunate because we'll just look at current records, larger personality and image and all of that comes with him. He's a bit low profile in that sense, will get left out. And so this will be the thing, unless anyone has a second thoughts about Dinesh Karthik. But none of you mentioned him. None of you mentioned him, so I'm also ruling him out. None of you mentioned him, so he's also ruled out.
Also, you were talking about, the Indian team have to have a left-hander.
Yeah.
They've not have to had a left-hander for the past 2 World Cups. And at a time when every team was playing a wrist spinner, we were the only ones who were like, no, we'll play 2 finger spinners.
No, but I'm hoping somewhere they'll learn.
If they had.
I mean, they haven't learned.
No, I'm saying if they had, then
No, but now what's
Hardik
done
Pandya
is
would be your
done.
captain.
What's done is done. Now
But
you'll have to get a left hand.
Anyway, made a full U-turn. You never know.
See,
I'm telling you, for example, a Yashasvi Jaiswal. Like again, as I'm saying, what you do if you don't pick a Yashasvi, what you do is tell everyone, that
Selflessness is unimportant.
that get runs doesn't matter. I know he's not in form, but when he was in form, also people will say, "Oh, TK, he attacks like that," but that can't be an excuse for not scoring runs, which I agree. But look at him when he was in form also and how he was playing. When he was in form, he could have very well batted long and gotten those runs. When he was playing for India in the limited opportunities that he got, he still attacked. That means he didn't care about his form. He didn't care if he gets 100 or a 80 or a 90. He said, I will attack and I'll get you those quick fire 38 of 19 or 42 of 20, whatever, he was giving. He was still doing that. And that's why you need to reward that, high risk cricket that he's playing. If you're not going to reward him with a longer rope, then everyone will start playing.
No, that's what I think someone was telling me also. We're having a discussion. Meet Vagasya, I think his name is.
Yes,
He's a
Meet Vagasya.
regular watcher of ours. And he was also telling me, saying, if you drop a Yashasvi, then aren't you sending the message that you should be only playing for your runs?
Don't be surprised if we get stat pads in the next.
I will not be. In fact, that's the thing. I will not be shocked at all if he does. Because what is the point of him having played high risk cricket for 2 years plus? What's his reward? Getting dropped for a World Cup?
Yeah.
This Indian cricket team management has shown that they can't take risks. Otherwise, why would you want to go back to seniors when they had not played for close to 15-16 months? You had already set in a blueprint with the Hardik Pandya. But then on the grounds that, he's not fit and that is why he can't be relied upon, you go back to them too. Because you have gotten a Rohit and a Virat back, you have unfortunately made 2 risk takers. It is a Yashasvi or a Rinku. It's not a Yashasvi and a Rinku.
Yeah. The only way you can have both is if you tell Pandya, boss, you bowl 4 overs.
Yes. But now even they are not confident. Now look at what's happened with Hardik Pandya, the bowler. Power play, 11 economy rate. Middle overs, 10 economy rate.
Don't even
Can't bowl him in the depth. What do you do? And Hardik Pandya as a batter alone will give you 20-21 wickets. There was no balance in that team. Okay. If Rohit and Virat open, you suggested that Surya Kumar Yadav gets to 3, Hardik Pandya at 4, then a Rinku at a 5, and 6 maybe a Pant / Sanju. 7 is a Jadeja. But what after that? Your batting ends at 7.
No, and you know what? Trust me, a lot of teams, their batting will end at 7 even in the T20 World Cup. You can take it from me in writing. Why? No such thing as an impact rule over there. So it will have to end at some point. But
those teams will have a lot more all-rounders.
Exactly. Yes. Pure all-rounders. And England and Australia.
Unless you play both Jadeja and Akshar.
And then who goes out?
But you can't leave Kuldeep.
You can't leave Kuldeep out.
You can't.
And please don't make this suggestion because you know what will be the next suggestion coming from people. But Akshar and Jadeja the same bowler. No. And then comes the next horror nightmare suggestion which will actually make me take that bat and hit myself in the head. Bring back R. Ashwin. Because an off-spin option.
By the way, West Indies, Ashwin was paratrooped in 2022.
Do not
that was
remind
the
me.
start of it.
We know that. We
Do not
remember.
remind me.
It's
And
another chapter you don't
No,
know.
no, no. Now your spinners have to be around. I'll tell you the ones that will be considered. Again, not my opinion, but I know. It'll be an Akshar, Jadeja, Kuldeep, and Bishnoi.
Yeah.
These are the four
In the mix,
that you are looking at. As unfortunate as it is for a Yuzi Chahal, but somehow or the other he's been the easy target. He's been the one that has been easy to remove from.
He's the Sanju
He
Samson
makes
of the
things
bowlers.
difficult. Oh, no. He's not the Sanju Samson of the bowler. Sanju Samson has never had returns this consistent, whether in
that's also
IPL
true.
or international level.
That's also
this is the only individual who had a purple cap, yet couldn't get into the Indian cricket team in 2022. Okay, as Nikhil summed it up in his tweet, the biggest mystery that will ever be there. How could Yuzi Chahal not play in 2022 despite being your leading wicket taker in a supposed benchmark of a tournament?
He's
that you
never
want to
played a
consider?
T20 World Cup.
Yeah.
That was just baffling because you brought one player who gave you runs and then he was wicket keeping and finishing games off for you. But the same season, the highest wicket taker of the tournament is warming the bench.
And you're talking about incumbency. Jitesh Sharma was designated to be the incumbent, right?
Yeah.
But then we know what happened with an incumbent. Kuldeep was the incumbent to be the best match winner. What happened to him in 2019?
He got incumbent.
He got benched. Look at Ambati. Ambati Rayudu is the classic case of not following to the incumbency trap. Jitesh,
1+ year.
But things have, see, now you have a different coach, a different chief selector. Who knows?
But things
But
have
see,
changed.
Because there were certain things that never happened in Indian cricket earlier,
Yeah.
like punishing players for not playing domestic cricket. That also happened. There's a start. Who knows? They when the selection happens,
But
all the
don't you-
mistakes that we are pointing out, or you're pointing out previous World Cups. Maybe some of those mistakes are made. Maybe some of them are not.
But don't you think because of the decision to go back to a Rohit and a Virat, with just 5 months to go for the T20 World Cup, don't you think that they've again gone back to pre-2022?
No, that's what I'm saying. Maybe certain things. See, maybe when you make changes, they're not wholesale changes. Maybe you cannot change everything, right? If you're trying to fix something, maybe you do
Gradual.
Yeah, you do it gradually. And sometime, by the way, and you gotta see always. It's very easy for us to criticize whoever, whether it's the coach, captain, selector. Whoever. See, for them, when we suggest something, like if we've not got any skin in the game, let's say an artist is making a painting and asking you what color to use, you just go with the first instinct. You're not going to give it too much. I like yellow. Why don't you make it like that? But for him, it's that art that he spent months on, and if he does go in with yellow, what if it was to ruin his painting, right? So I'm saying for those guys, because at the end of the day, the buck will stop with them. You and I can topi ghuma also. One day we can say, Sanju the other. But let's say you did wholesale changes, you changed the complete team, and you went and got hammered. They'll be like, what were you thinking? Can you even go to a World Cup? You have Kohli sitting there, and imagine the kind of fan following and a reputation that comes with it. A smaller player, if you were to leave out, you
one
can
cares.
damage control. Yeah, no damage control. But if you were to take a big thing like that and you make mistakes, and which is a possibility, there's a 50-50 chance you succeed or you make, then all hell will break loose. So what you try and do is that if you want to make changes, maybe you do it gradually. So you don't change the full, setup, like from black to white. You do, okay, if I have to change the color from white towards black, then I'll slowly start changing and you get shades of grey gradually. And then you do it. So maybe I'm feeling that you will see, like for example, let's say as you have a complaint that why go back to a Virat or Rohit. Let's say they do that. But in the same breath, they do keep a Yashasvi. In the same breath, they do keep a Kuldeep this time and give him playing time and go with him as your number one bowler. If they fix those other areas while keeping a Rohit and a Virat, maybe that's a more safer option to go for them, because even they would not be 100% sure whether if you go with completely a new thing, what might happen or what may. None of us know, right?
Because see, I can understand. See, the job of the selectors, the job of the coach, the meeting, what will be happening is no easy feat.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot of brainstorming. There'll be a lot of this. Like, okay, what do we do with such a big pool? How are we gonna finalize the 15? Okay, it's a big debate. It will not just happen in a day. It will go on for a week.
Yeah. It's like, somebody is jumping from the top and he asks you, it's for us to say very easy, yeah, jump, nothing. But if you're standing
Yeah,
there,
you'll have a
think 10
different view
times.
altogether.
Yeah,
Yes.
10 times. Should I, friends, should I? That's the situation that they are in.
Yeah, but then see, if that is the case, then we have already seen what with this score, not the Hardik Pandya core that was there ever since October 2022, November 2022 that was. Those core of players did succeed. Yes, they lost the West Indies series 2-3, okay? But then after that, your priority was the ODI World Cup. After that, the break has been so complete that now you're gone back to a Rohit and a Virat taking a 50-50 chance. Because even those core of players did not win for about 8 years. You had the 14 T20 World Cup, 16 T20 World Cup, 21 and 22. 4 T20 World Cups where you honestly came up short in 2014 and 16. You had a chance, but you fell short. 21, you are never in with a chance. 22, it needed that one bad session that I may had, because they didn't even give you a single chance in the power play and in the whole match also. So that's why there is no fixed template that is there in the Indian cricket selection setup at this point in time, because this U-turn came 5 months just before the T20 World Cup, and already that is like an amber signal of caution. I mean, where is your mindset going to be? How is the mindset going to be? That's my biggest worry. And already with 2 seniors coming in, your 2 risk takers are already a or Yashasvi or a Rinku, a Shubman or a Yashasvi, because you can't fit all of them in. In the Hardik era, you could have fitted them in, because you had bunch of fearless players. Tilak Verma, look at the promise that he showed. I don't think he's making it beyond 2024 also in this Indian setup. So we don't know. Tilak has slid off. What do you do with him?
Hardik is struggling.
Hardik struggling.
Hardik era with the form that he's going in wouldn't have been.
I mean, you don't have
would have been very
you don't
bullish
have a
about that.
Shami. That's the biggest concern. You don't have a Siraj.
You have an out of form
struggling.
Siraj.
Siraj is struggling. Khalil is
Khalil.
hit or miss. Avesh is also so far hit or miss. So it's a prayer. You are praying really hard at this point. So
Oh, Balan Hare.
indeed.
It's a meme time.
Acha, I asked him for questions, he is giving memes.
He's giving memes.
Acha, theek hai. Now Shivam loves this. As always, we'll take memes today. Which one is this? Shubman Gill today. सांस लेता हूँ तो एक और विकेट हो जाता है. Which movie is this? Akshay Khanna's?
I don't know which movie is it.
No idea either.
Me neither.
Maybe aap lot chale.
We are not getting to that.
Yeah.
ऐसा संकट ना कभी देखा है ना कभी सुना है.
But don't cut to it.
No, this is fine. This is not anything controversial.
Yeah.
He has taken quote syllabus and stubs both start and end with S.
That is a horrible joke.
I don't know. Delhi.
Out of syllabus wala.
That's still
Stubbs
terrible.
as a bowler, that was out of syllabus
Haan,
maybe.
but that's still terrible.
Yeah.
Please, have you shown it to our viewers? They can also tell. No, you are not going to show it to them. Shivam, फिर क्या फायदा है?
Cut it then.
अच्छा, you cut it. हाँ, then it's okay. कैसा लगा? Or maybe this mazak is not very funny because the character that they're using, he used to come up with very poor jokes.
Maybe
And
that's
say,
right.
see, how did you like my joke? So maybe they've come up with a PJ
Dr. Gulati, no?
and saying that, how did you like my joke?
Yeah, Dr. Mashur Gulati.
हाँ, मशहूर गुलाटी. हाँ, so he used to come out with really bad jokes. Maybe
Yeah.
that's why they put that thing.
Oof,
That
Equally
here's
bad.
our bad joke.
I know.
Whatever, something.
We could have just gone to the questions.
Exactly.
That's the better joke that you'll see on screen.
I agree. Better joke.
I asked him to. He said no. Yes. Shubham Garg.
How many IPL trophies DC needs to win for Harshit to celebrate?
Please.
First, get the first one at least.
Okay,
There'll be good celebrations. Yeah.
nice.
I like the second part. Please read that.
Sid Belpuri sellers in Wankede reporting paper shortage. ASAP call for your book. Yaar, I can't write a book that quickly, yaar.
It's work in progress, Shubham.
Work
Don't
in
worry.
progress, my friend. But don't worry, the Belpuri walas will be satisfied also, don't worry.
Acha, Vishal Panchal, unlike Shubham, is not trolling you, Harshit. He empathizes with you.
Okay, what does he say? He says
He
that I
says,
do.
I do feel for Harshit. As an Indian fan, we have been waiting long time for ICC trophy. As a fan, your trophy will only excite you after a long.
See, but there's one big difference there is that India's drought in trophies came after winning 3 trophies in very quick succession. DC haven't won a trophy.
And there's another difference. There's another difference. I don't agree. Like for example, fine, India's trophy is not happening, but let's say now they play on June
5th.
5th to is Ireland.
Pakistan, I think 9th.
June 9th, India wins. Am I going to say, no, I'm not happy. I want to.
Yep.
I will be like rocking it.
It's
the same thing. If they go on then, and let's say in Super 8 when they play, let's say they are playing South Africa, whatever, when they're in good form and they win, I'm going to be celebrating that day.
Correct.
Of course, I'm not going to say, okay, now I have achieved everything. Not those types ki हाँ बस Pakistan को हरा दिया, I'm happy now. I'm not like that. But जिस दिन हराया that day, तो I'll be rocking it, यार. I'll have a beverage or two. 100% I'd be happy. After that, if they win the trophy, तो सोने पे सुहागा ना. Celebrate.
controlled celebrations prior to.
No, I will celebrate.
Melbourne वाला experience बताओ.
Melbourne wala, exactly, good point Shivam makes. Tell me, India did not win the T20 World, but I was in Melbourne. That game India won against
See,
Pakistan.
winning a derby is one thing.
Yeah, but yeah, you beat. You see, in IPL, if I was to extrapolate down to the IPL, a DC beating CSK.
It's not derby though. It's not derby.
Not derby, no. I know, but I'm saying the thing it is. For example, if India had beaten South Africa at Optus that day, it would have a massive win, yeah. Not a derby, but I would have really celebrated. And I know there were so many fans who came and you were talking. If you were to beat them on a fast pitch with their fast bowling attack, it would be a big celebration. I'm saying that moment they won that from that situation, I was there at the MCG. The energy, man, all fans, everything. India didn't win the T20 World Cup that day, but they celebrated. A lot of them came back to watch the final or semi-final in Adelaide. They were disappointed. But
They
they
would
were
have
going to
come
be
to watch
like,
the final
now, because मैं trophy जीतता ही नहीं, so I will. So imagine fans sitting there. Virat is it there. I'm not going to celebrate because this is not the trophy.
That's
yet.
not the idea.
But I'm just saying.
I was clapping.
If everyone was like
I was
that.
clapping around and ecstatic while every.
I will not. Okay, so they will be like, okay, I will just celebrate. Well done, Virat. Good. I will not jump out of my seat.
No, I will.
I'm not going to be excited. Today I will not be. Till the time.
I will not be jumping around in the stadium or in the alleys or in the streets of the city yet because again you've not done anything. Again, it's a mid-table finish as of now. And
Mid-tables are everything.
And yeah, you need to be punching above. Simple as that.
Okay, Suryan Sharma.
Difference between two teams. Both teams had their backs against the wall. Minnows RCB slipped further. But big boys DC came back stronger. Mentality difference.
Big boys.
But the mentality difference in terms of celebration also. And I'm
I'm
saying
not going to.
no, but I'm saying
celebrate.
again for another time. I don't know what time though. But I've said this before as well. RCB have been found guilty. And why there's a butt of all jokes? There's a butt of all jokes for all these loud, uncalled for, untimed, poorly timed celebrations. When you've done little
I don't think. Yeah, see, the core of the problem is they're not winning. Everything else gets
exactly.
but not celebration. No.
So
everyone does not target. See, that is an additional thing.
Your first
They're
job
irritated.
as a franchise out there is to
But you were
first
saying,
win.
No. You were saying that the whole point is that RCB gets targeted because of their celebration.
Yeah,
That
because
no.
You being loudmouth without having done
No,
anything.
but Harshit, let me finish. That is a minor thing, irritant for other people. That you're mixing. The major thing that they get trolled is because they keep losing. Then what happens when you start losing consistently? Then people look at other reasons also to find.
But they also get trolled because they will. If they were to, let's say, even win by a 10-wicket margin in the next game, they're bottom of the table. Even then, they will celebrate as if it's a win in the eliminator.
I don't see what's the harm in that. If there are fans who can
The
derive
joke
pleasure,
then ends with them.
No. But that's you're not getting. That's not the focus of the joke. That's a minor. The jokes actually start with the fact that they don't win. That's the major thing. And then there are other things. Then when you start picking, they celebrate, you do this, you bit little bit. I'm saying, for example, let's say Punjab Kings. They're also a bada wall joke. We make so many jokes about them also. They were to finish bottom of the table, wherever, sixth. maybe their fans are not like that. So fans is not the number one reason, and the fan celebration is not the number one reason. So if you were to celebrate, is what my point is, that does not make you a target when you lose. Not necessary. You have to celebrate if you won against, as I said, the defending champion. That calls for celebration. It's a big win. Just the fact that you've beaten a defending champion is win. Of course,
Five-time winner.
of course, you're not going to be celebrating like you won the trophy. That celebration will be a different level.
Yeah.
But there will be celebration. That's it.
RCB fans के पास तो एक मौका मतलब है.
So I appreciate RCB fans for that. Let's say they don't win, right? But on the arrogance and all, I'm not talking about. But if there are fans who celebrate a win, let's say if they've had a win and they celebrate, they have the right to celebrate. No, if they won on a given day. Let
Because
them
they celebrate every match as a title win. That is the reason why they have got such a passionate fan base.
They have WPL trophy. दिल्ली के पास तो भी नहीं.
Thank you, Delhi Capitals. Thank
Next one. Chalo, niche, Shubham Garg.
Guys, when Harshit gets first promo, don't congratulate him. It's first promo only. Nick sir has got so many promos, so nothing to celebrate compared to him.
See
No,
what he's
fair
saying.
comparison.
No, but what he's saying is that if you get a, Harshit has started anchoring on TV. So he's saying maybe your promo comes, so you don't be happy that day. अरे ये क्या है? ये एक से क्या होता है? है ना? इसे पहले 20 होने चाहिए. 20 होगा इससे ये क्या है? 11 o'clock क्या है? जिस दिन मैं 9 o'clock prime time करूँगा, that day I will say.
No, see, it's
ये क्या normal है? The day I do the main election counting day, I sit and I do it. That's the day. That's what he's trying to.
no.
भैया कम में नहीं हो. इतने में नहीं मानेगा.
Next one.
Rakesh Bhushan says that the franchisees call the shot, yet selectors are asking Hardik Pandya to bowl more. KL wanted to bat in the middle order to present his case more strongly. This IPL is obviously a dress rehearsal for the World Cup. Selectors are helpless. Why the
But you
murmurs
know,
then?
a good point by Rakesh. In fact, I was thinking that day that now, by the way, you should take all reports also with a pinch of salt, right? A lot of it is one man story and don't necessarily give you a 360-degree view of what may have been happening. Having said that, let's assume that is the case, that selectors do want to see him. But I sometimes feel maybe, again, look at all sides of the story. Now, Hardik has made it clear that it's not his fitness that he's not bowling, it's tactical. And maybe there is sense in that thing, right? On certain days he will, certain days he cannot. But you can't expect him, or the selectors or anyone can't demand, no, he should be bowling, so we want to see him.
Yeah.
But boss, that the franchise will decide, and he as a captain will decide on a given day whether it's viable for him to bowl or not. But we're going to judge him based on that, because the opposition that he may be playing would be different here vis-a-vis the opposition he plays in the World Cup. Pitches may be different here, the pitches that he's playing. So it's a bit tough. While I agree that that's the only way to gauge his bowling fitness, the only way to gauge how good he is or how potent he is as a bowler right now, sure. But can't be done every match. There will be certain match which will have different tactics compared to the tactics that the Indian team will employ. So it's not easy. I agree.
Yep. Sarthak Arya. Everyone had written off DC and they were in the bottom 2 in their predictions.
Including the DC fan.
No, they weren't bottom 2. They were always mid-table for me.
Yeah. Won't talk about top 4 yet, but they are not finishing in the bottom 3.
Okay, bets. Are they finishing bottom 3? Yes, no.
At the start of the season, I said no, and I'm going to stick to it.
I think they still might.
Bottom 3?
I think they might.
Bottom 3?
Yes.
How about you?
I'll make it 3.
Oh.
So the top 3.
So we backed them today to win.
Yeah.
And they did win.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking bottom 3.
Okay.
Because the next game is against SRH.
So I'm just, now let me count. I'll need to have, so assuming that they finish 3rd from the bottom, right? We'll need to have 7 teams above them, right? Let's count basically right now. Can we think? So Rajasthan, KKR,
CSK.
CSK,
SRH,
SRH,
LSG,
LSG,
then you have MI.
Who will
MI.
win third? You know.
Or not, because you've seen
MI
MI also finish 8,
MI
9, 10.
6.
and
Not 10.
and
not 9.
GT.
No, and Punjab Kings, the top 6 Kings.
so I can see 6 ahead. So now it could be bottom 4, bottom 4 or bottom 3 or whatever.
I see RCB.
So there's a close fight.
PBKS.
RCB,
Again, six.
RCB, PBKS, Delhi, and
See, if DC, PBKS and RCB
Gujarat.
finish at the bottom,
Gujarat you putting in the bottom
then
four?
the Virat Kohli trilogy is done.
4. So these 4 will fight.
I see for Mumbai.
Okay, I'm sticking my neck out. Bottom 3.
Okay.
See, if DC, PBKS and
For
RCB,
Mumbai, I will say that. I'll say because Mumbai I had in my top 4. I think it's either top 4 or bottom 3.
Yeah, but there's no either. Nah, you have to decide.
But then that determines
No
whether
either.
Delhi finish.
No, the question is, are they
No,
finishing
that
bottom
too I've
3?
answered.
So we all
That
3
I've
are
answered.
done.
After the IPL, bottom 3 will play a tri-series or something.
Try series.
No, if DC, PBKS and RCB finish at the bottom 3, then the Virat Kohli trilogy is done.
Harshit bhai ko question nahi ki try.
What does that mean?
He's originally from Punjab, born and raised in Delhi, plays for RCB.
He's not from Punjab.
That's the joke that does the rounds
That's
on
the-
right?
But I think it's Delhi only.
And the
most.
fact that he's got Punjabi roots.
Yeah, but that
Punjabi
doesn't,
name.
how does that matter? Yeah?
Punjabi
I'm a
name.
Punjabi, but I'm not from Punjab. No?
I know, that's my point. It's just the joke
It's
that does
just,
the
yeah,
rounds.
that he's
It's
surrounded by
unkind social
teams.
media banter.
Yes. DC,
But I'm just getting the technicalities.
Yeah.
Do technicalities matter for
Yeah.
memers?
People's.
Divyang, today was the day for Vijay Shankar to come and perform. GT have given up on him, honestly.
So is everyone else.
He could have been their savior. Who knows?
No, I don't think so. He's not.
See, he'd be that guy who'll come smack 1-6. Maybe the other 6 that could have possibly come would have come from him. He's that kind of a guy. But he'll get out after 7.
See, but he's been there, he's not been there. GT still have a mixed record.
Okay, you haven't taken the full question. He says,
As much as I want Yashasvi Jaiswal to open, if he doesn't score more and Abhishek continues form, he should replace Yashasvi.
that
Arey
is
yaar.
the issue. Abhishek has been outstanding. Completely agree, but you cannot keep making teams like that. Then you please take on that. Then I'll just give you. Do you take a Khalil Ahmed ahead of anybody else?
Just
Will
take
that happen?
the top wicket takers.
Will Khalil Ahmed go ahead of Arshdeep?
No.
No, it will not. Right? If you are going with a left armer, Arshdeep will go. Right?
Yes.
You don't go
And
with
by that
Khalil
logic,
Ahmed.
Rohit Sharma would not have played in the last 4 editions of the T20 World Cup.
Yeah,
Won't
exactly.
happen. Won't happen.
Hari is saying from the US, my choice is DK as the keeper.
You guys, none of you took it.
Last time they failed due to chop and change between DK and Pant. Hope this time in World Cup they play with DK in all the games and fully back him. Even if he clicks in 3 out of 10 games, it's good enough.
Can I be honest about DK? I think you took DK, but you also were not consistent with him. You took him for a particular job, but you never gave him those opportunities. Dropped him at the first opportunity that you got. That also was badly handled. If you took him for a particular job to do it, he didn't. And that chopping and change started before the World Cup. That Asia Cup that they had before the T20 World Cup, there are only few games he didn't get runs. He was dropped.
Yes.
You just went plan B.
Panicky.
Correct. So
If DK comes in, okay, then in that entire 2022 T20 World Cup squad,
Only
the all
KL
change you've got is
yeah.
Shubman
I'm
or
not saying
Yashasvi
that he
Jaiswal.
should come now. I'm not saying he should come. But just the fact that he points out, he's right. The days that you took him, yes, he disappointed on occasion too, but also you never gave him a long run. You just played him, dropped him, played him, dropped him, and then
Correct.
dropped him only and just carried him.
I mean,
Doesn't work.
unfortunately, in that Pakistan game also, he didn't do himself any favors, DK, with that.
Yeah.
I mean, let's put it this way: the selectors were as jittery with DK as he can sometimes be out in the middle.
Yeah. And your Hari, main performances, if you look at it, at the Chinnaswamy, we take it with a pinch of salt.
No. Then let's make another 11 this time. No, so you've got Abhishek Sharma to open along with some other young Indian openers doing well, who's not capped.
Prab Simran.
Huh?
Prab Simran hasn't done well.
Okay.
So, chalo, Yashasvi with Rohit because he'll have to take Rohit. Right?
Yeah, Rohit.
So, then number 3 can be Riyan Parag, number 4 can be Shivam Dubey. I'll still keep Rinku at 5.
Yeah.
Then your finishers could be maybe, I don't know, Ashutosh,
Ashutosh.
Shashank.
Shashank.
Take everyone. No, what nonsense.
Yeah, bowlers, Khalil.
Oh no,
Khalil.
Harshit Rana.
Harshit
Harshit Rana, Weber
Weber
Baroda to
Baroda.
open. Then keep
Yadav.
Khalil. Mayank Yadav won't be fit, so it's
Mayank
okay. Spinners, mein, is there any particular spinner who's doing well? No.
Markandeya has been
Mayank
mixed bag.
Markandeya has been very
Mixed
good.
bag.
Mixed bag, yeah.
Mixed
Two
bag.
good
Yeah.
games.
No, then we'll keep Kuldeep.
Ravi
it's okay.
Bishnoi.
No, but Ravi Bishnoi has actually not been good in the IPL. Kuldeep. He'll keep Kuldeep.
Yeah, Kuldeep.
Bas, ठीक है. That's your thing. And if you want,
Kuldeep's the veteran in the side.
you have Khalil and Kuldeep
Tushar
combination.
Deshpande.
There is Rohit also.
Take Tushar Deshpande also.
Why not?
He can give you a first ball wicket.
Exactly. He's done better than Shardul. AB Tewatia, why not?
Rahul Tewatia is an Indian finisher. Thank you.
Yeah.
There you go.
Bring
He
two
bowled
and
bit
AB Tewatia,
Bowl
man.
bit of leg spin also.
He's hardly bowled for 5 years.
In IPL.
Yeah.
In domestics he's bowled a lot.
Keep Unadkat as backup.
Yes.
Mohit Sharma.
Mohit. Yeah, a parallel universe 11. Indeed, that's good. Praneeth Datta, sad that Jaiswal won't make it as the seniors are back.
Yeah, he's right. And by the way,
I think he'll make it. I have a feeling.
I hope so. By the way, we have the return of Prithvi
Baman.
Patnaik,
What a long
aka Baman. Thanks, a long time it's been, my friend. Where have you been? He says that the T20 World Cup is a foregone conclusion. The Indian team is playing T20s of 2008. It's outdated. Remember, they will be thrashed and humiliated in World Cup. Don't waste your time.
The biggest Surya fan is saying this, despite Surya Kumar Yadav.
You know who he's
He's
reminding?
not, he's as direct as they go.
He's reminding me of, just to pay a little bit of tribute. There is no passion. There is no vision. There is no thinking in this team.
Yeah,
That's it.
indeed. Sad day. Praneeth Datta again, please.
I did not see the match today. Tuned to your show for information looking at Harshab. I thought DC lost the match.
Everyone did.
Praneeth Datta, comment of the day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
Oh,
it
God.
indeed is.
indeed.
Let's take a few questions before we wind up. Okay, bus. Mayank Madan, are they doing to Samsung what they did to DK Nikhil sir? Sid just loves Virat's downfall.
I will
he
prove
does,
you're
he
a
does.
hater.
He does. And to the first question, are they doing to Samsung what they did to DK?
No.
No, quite different. At
No,
least DK they took to the World Cup.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Samsung's
Samsung
not-
they won't
yeah.
even.
Sanju Samson is a case study on how to dangle the carrot and then whack someone with the stick. They give him the carrot and stick treatment and not in a good way.
The stick and carrot is in a different jungle. Samson is a different jungle altogether. Why? T20 World Cup year he'll play ODIs. ODI World Cup year he'll play T20s.
Okay. Harish Madhisetti. Which Hardik era, Siddharth, you're talking about? Injury prone Hardik? First, he should be in form. I know you are against RS and VK, but
You know
which
what
era?
Hardik I'm talking about? I'm talking about the Hardik who in the semi-final got you 63 of 30.
Yeah.
You know, whilst your beloved captain got you 28 of 27.
And Virat 50 or 40. Okay. The Hardik era that I'm talking about, 2022 IPL.
Yeah,
era.
final. Look at the final.
And
Man of the
final,
match.
Plus October 2022 till you may say September 2023.
Yeah.
Okay, Asaduzzaman is saying, Pant, nahi, first, ek karke, Shivam, please don't participate in the World Cup if you carry KL. Then it should be a charity game. He needs 1 over to warm up. How come a batter gave a maiden over to a T20 World Cup? Bang my head as hard. No.
I was
You're
reaching
not
for the
alone.
bat.
You're not alone, Asaduzzaman.
Yeah.
Shane does it.
I was reaching for the bat or the pillar.
Yeah.
Okay, Asad also wants to know, are Rishabh
Rishabh
Pant given man of the match only for captaincy? Is it a charity game? No, but
No, it's keeping.
the keeping
Keeping.
was outstanding. But
2 catches,
Yeah.
2
Stumpings.
stumpings.
was he a man of the match?
I would have gone for maybe a bowler.
Yeah.
Maybe a Nishant. 2 overs for 8. And 2 wickets also at the top. He got the big wicket of Shubman.
Who got, didn't one of their bowlers get 3 wickets?
Mukesh.
Yeah.
But Mukesh, yeah, tail ender. I think.
Yeah, whatever. I think it's fair because again,
yeah,
if you
no,
take into account, let's
But
say
the
captaincy,
standout bowler was Kuldeep. Not looking at the wickets.
Yeah.
If you're not just looking at wickets.
Yeah.
I'm adding those
Unplayable.
11 odd runs, 12 odd runs, whatever that he
16
scored. Runs plus 4
Captaincy plus keeping.
involvement in 4 dismissals plus captaincy. So that's fair.
Okay, Varun Parvataneni is asking you, Siddharth, what do you make of Butler's buttering after finishing the game? He's recognizing something you have not recently.
What buttering is he referring to?
I think he's talking about the MS Dhoni Virat Kohli thing. Okay, where you take the game deep and believe in yourself. Okay, that's the kind of thing that Varun Parvatneni is alluding to. But then with the MS Dhoni template, look, it has not come for 5 years.
But you know, here's the funny thing. You're right in a sense. It's not come for 5 years for MS Dhoni. But Joss Butler, even aside from this knock, has made it a habit. He did it for England even in the 2019 World Cup. People forget he flies under the radar
Yes.
because then he was an opening. He was batting as the finisher. And 2020 he was an opener, boss. That's a whole different ball game. Do not remind me of the spanking he gave us. It was hard to watch. Okay.
Even in the final, he adjusted so well under very seeming conditions.
Exactly, but I'm saying the finishing thing, the take it deep thing, I've seen him do even in, ODI cricket. In fact, lest we forget, people tend to forget also that boundary count rule because of the ridiculousness. But who was the first person who celebrated and called for the ball to be thrown. Josh Butler, because the man knew the rule. He was cool as a cucumber. He affected the stumping and ran. And at that point, I'm thinking, wait, it's another tie. What is the deal? And I'm like, oh, he knew the rule. That's what this guy, and again, I hated the innings he played, but I'm a big Josh Butler fan, so it was, in a way, it was also nice to watch.
Anyway, see, Varun, I have done another video wherein Butler has highlighted what one golfer has said, that what is his mentality. See, the Virat and MS Dhoni thing, he had to say
that's
it
a
at that
very
point.
good plug. Go for it.
So,
All videos should be plugged.
there is a golfer that he really follows, Max Homa. He is ranked number 5 in the world currently in the PGA circuit. He has said that, okay, if things are not, I mean, what is there in front of me is not ideal. Think opposite of that and keep believing it until you survive. So,
That's why he said, kept believing.
kept believing. That is the thing. This.
Don't tell the whole video though.
Yeah, I'm not telling the whole video.
Yes.
You have just now.
Give it all away.
Just say very interesting story. This is-
Give it all away.
Yeah, I mean, a golfer having that kind of a thing. when
Shivam faded down.
Pressure,
That's
when
also
pressure
one
in
way.
cricket and pressure in golf is maybe several notches higher.
Now
in
you've
golf.
gone a step ahead. Not only have you given the whole video, you've done the analysis of the
It's
video.
like when we say give a teaser of a dish, he's given the
I
dish
thought
as well as a
I
dessert.
thought it was not a teaser. That's why. I thought everybody would have seen it at this point.
You said I have done a video and I said good.
Now that's
good.
being RCB truly.
Okay, we're going to quickly
Getting
run
ahead.
through comments. Okay, once quickly running through. Mr. Shekhar, who's a GTN, who's a fan, he says tournament was done and dusted for us when we let PBKS chase 200 and we couldn't chase 163 versus Lucknow Super Giants. What is the last line I want Shane to read?
Very casual approach, thoda casual hai, and poor buys in the mini auction.
As well.
Good point. Come out. Let's take quickly more questions. Oh, Upar, say. Upar. Oh, they have disappeared. Okay. Sorry, your questions because of Shivam we had kept to read, but it's now gone. Oh, it's okay now. Gone is gone. Okay. Aditya Kavlekar says the entire Hardik Pandya transfer has ruined GT, MI, and RCB. And in this, the person who regrets this most will be Hardik if you forget it financially. Okay,
No, I will say Cameron Green is a close second. At least he played games last season.
Okay, Prakash Jha says, Nikhil sir, the way Dravid regime is obsessed with matchups, are you sure we won't be
Taking off spinners.
taking off spinner? I'm sure this time. I'm sticking my neck out. No off spinners going. Okay, Piyush Nandre says, Hardik Pandya trade destroyed 3 teams, MI, GT and RCB. Much as what
That's what
Aditya
Kavlekar
Kavlekar had also said. Okay. Piyush Nandre says BCCI should arrange a tri-series for RCB, DC and PBKS after IPS. At least one of them will win a trophy.
Yeah.
This is Shivam, our producer's joke also. Same thing. He's done. Okay. Karthik K.
Impact rule is benefiting Jaddu, not even auditioning for a spot.
Yeah, I mean, in that
Hey, his
sense,
form has been pretty.
his batting is not.
It's flown under the radar.
Yeah, is not
Yeah.
being called upon that
He's
much.
just contributed 1 game with the ball. That was against KKR.
Yeah. Okay. I want to take one final question. Shakin PS. Why can't Dinesh Karthik be the wicketkeeper of T20 World Cup? If a man who had failed for 7 T20 World Cups can have a spot, then why can't a DK play? What is he?
7 World Cups. I mean, the only person who's played is Rohit Sharma.
Not Virat?
No, Virat was not in 2007.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah.
And plus Virat won.
He's not
He's
won a
not
T20
won
World
a
Cup.
two.
No, not T20,
Yeah.
but he's won a World Cup.
Rohit has
No,
won-
he's saying failed. He's talking about as a personal level. Otherwise, the Rohit is a World Cup winner.
See, Rohit has won the World T20 and the Champions Trophy.
Yeah.
Virat has won the World Cup and the Champions Trophy. But he's not won the T20 World Cup, maybe 2024.
Personal
that
attacks.
changes.
But anyway, you can answer Dinesh Karthik. Why can't he win? Anyone?
I mean, in an ideal world, sure. But I think they tried that experiment once where they did something a little outlandish and then had cold feet almost as instantly as DK enters the plane with all that AC going around him. They had cold feet then only. That's why they chopped and changed, and they're not doing it again.
And towards the fag end, you are playing with Rishabh Pant anyway.
Yeah.
So that's why.
That is Rishabh Pant's kismat in World Cup. So 2019 also was the same. Wasn't picked. Came in for because
Number
of injuries.
Number 4.
And then he's playing and he's looking scratchy. Obviously he'll look scratchy.
He will.
No, though I will admit, that New Zealand game which he played, he looked the best out of the
Yes.
lot
He did, yeah.
against the swinging ball.
Yeah.
He was looking good. He got 30 odd, if I'm not
32.
mistaken.
32, yeah.
He looked good. He could have carried on, but yeah.
But then that slog that he gave to Mitchell Santner, and I think Jagrandholm took the catch at deep into it. Oof.
Okay, anything else anybody wants to say? Any thought, any one you want to say? No, we're not going to take just because it's your LSG team. Shivam wants us to take this. Okay, Shivam's question, Harish Sharma is asking, can LSG make it to the playoff? Go, yes, no.
They do have a pretty good chance. So, yes.
Yes, no.
Yes, they can.
Yes, no.
No.
Yes, I had put them in the top 5.
See, I mean, he's asking if they can. He's not asking if they will. So I have wiggle room here. Should have been a lawyer.
Okay, final question, Prakasha. Who are you backing tonight? 2 Champions League games coming up. I'd be watching.
See, I had predicted Bayern win somehow for the Arsenal game. As for the other, I think City edge it.
Yeah, I'm also going City for that game. And what's the scoreline in the other game?
2-2.
Doesn't matter. It's a shootout.
It's all a
Both-
shootout
both
now.
matches-
Both games are ties right now. It's 3-3 in City Real and 2-2 for Bayern Arsenal.
Doesn't count for anything.
Yeah. I mean,
So then you will have extra time and penalties.
Second
then,
one
right?
is tough.
Yes.
Second one is a tough call.
Yeah, I'm
City,
saying it's
I'm
a very
going with
cold.
City.
It's
I hope it's not
that
City.
one. Arsenal Bayern. So,
I'm going with
it's
Bayern.
at the Allianz.
Allianz Arena.
But imagine, Madrid getting knocked out of Champions League is
In the quarters.
massive.
Yeah.
Massive. But only because they're up against City that you can say it.
I'm saying
Otherwise,
Bayern win against Arsenal and Real beat City.
Wow.
Same.
You're going to say?
But this is in Etihad, right?
I know why you don't want City to
Yeah.
I have no skin in the game there.
No, that's why I also don't want Arsenal to win. No?
You're not looking at it because of Pep Guardiola?
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. The only thing, because Pep's been a former coach and I like, and he's a former player also.
Just that.
So, and I was a Barca fan when Pep was playing. So, yeah, I'll go with Pep's team, City. I have no allegiance to City otherwise. But the day he leaves, I wouldn't care what they do. And for the other game, it's a close one. But I'm saying for old time's sake, I used to like the Invincibles, the Arsenal. You know, I want them to come up and Bayern's
3, right?
having a terrible
What,
Bundesliga
The
season.
Invincibles 2003 season, right?
3-4.
3-4.
So for that sake, for Thierry Henry, for Patrick Vieira, for Freddie Ljungberg,
Dennis Bergkamp.
Dennis
Bergkamp.
yeah, for that team.
The non-flying
Was
Dutchman.
The Gunners,
Peter Schmeichel
answer.
part of Arsenal?
No, Schmeichel was a United player.
Peter Schmeichel.
Peter Schmeichel.
Yeah.
So that says Oil Clasico in the UCL.
PSG versus Man City.
Yeah. It is.
It's what do you call? It's Qatar versus UAE.
UAE.
That's
Yeah.
a good point, Siddharth.
It's a shame. Newcastle aren't anywhere. You could have been having the trios war. Saudi Arabia then. No?
Yeah. Gulf War. totally.
Yeah, maybe someday. Who knows?
Very
So
nice.
you got
It's
a
not
team
that far.
from Liga. Then you've got a La Liga team. I think Atletico have made it, right?
Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
No, Atletico got knocked out.
Atletico lost.
Dortmund.
Yeah,
Only
complete
Madrid is there.
turnaround.
Only
So
Madrid.
you'll have 2 Bundesliga teams potentially in the semi-final.
Yeah.
If Bayern wins,
Yeah.
In fact, they will
And
be on
Dortmund are
course
through.
for a semi-final, if I'm not mistaken.
it'll be Bayern Dortmund if that
I
happens.
think.
I don't know who's
I'll have to
against,
check that.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that because I don't remember.
Okay.
Amir is
Yeah,
asking, do you
Rijkaard.
remember Frank Rijkaard? Of course. I've
Yeah.
even met Frank Rijkaard.
Wow.
At the World Cup. I mean, I met him in the sense he was at the function where we were there. At the 2010 FIFA World Cup.
That's a
But since I was a Barca fan, of course I remember.
Of course, Frank Rijkaard.
Yeah, good player for them, coach them as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. How can you not remember? And his, I remember him as a player when he played for the Dutch team. There was the trio of Van Basten, Rijkaard, and
Gullit, was it?
Gullit.
Ruud Gullit. Yes.
88, right? Kind
Yeah,
of.
88 Euro. They
Euro,
were that
yes.
the
That
checked
dream team.
The checked orange.
Yes.
shirt
That very,
beautiful.
like almost,
Yeah,
the
beautiful.
little thing they'd have. It was
Beautiful.
nice.
Beautiful.
But before Barca, wasn't he with Ajax?
Obviously, but Ajax and Barcelona have a very deep
Was he
connection.
with Eindhoven?
No, it was probably Ajax only because Ajax and Barca have that very common connection, no? Cruyff.
Okay, I'm going to take one more football question, which was Ashish Dhar saying, why can't Sunil Chhetri play for the big leagues? I'll just give you a quick summary of that. Listen, firstly, he had a chance to go play in the English Premier League at that
Queen's
time.
Park
Rangers.
Queen's Park
Rangers,
Rangers,
No,
yes.
not Rangers. Don't
Queen's
say
Park
Rangers.
Rangers.
Ah.
Queen's Park Rangers.
So,
yeah.
but at
Not
that
the
time, there was an
Scottish.
issue because of India's FIFA ranking being
So low.
outside of 100, and then you don't get a work visa, which he needed to go and play. So your teams overall ranking had to be there. That was his best chance when he was younger. Then there was a Sporting Lisbon thing that happened with
He
him
played for the
much
B
later.
team.
Yeah, they took him, probably going to play him for the senior team, but he did not. And I did speak to him about it, but he thought that it came a few years later. And actually what he felt, which I kind of agree with him, he said that they wanted to test me and made me play with B teams. And B teams were tougher for him because they were much more physical games. He felt that if he had directly played for A team, he could have impressed more because it was a more open play, would have suited his style more. But B teams are slightly rougher and not, don't come under the scrutiny of a lot of refereeing decision, younger players playing, so it gets rougher. That wasn't to his liking, the physical game. Had he been directly got into the A team, may have impressed even more so. So that's the other thing that happened with Sunil Chhetri. I think he had it in him to make it, but I guess a lot of things didn't go. I'm not saying as a top player, but probably could have been that 60-minute substitute, could have done a decent
Well, I mean,
job.
at that point, remember, Queen's Park Rangers were playing not in any English division, they were playing in the Premier League.
Exactly.
So, I mean, if he managed to even go there and have even half a season, it would have made such a monumental impact.
Yeah, that's why, but it just didn't work out because of the work.
The work permit was not given for obvious
because
reasons.
of your FIFA ranking.
Yeah.
Even PK
Top
Banerjee
100 you had to be, right?
Not PK Banerjee, I don't remember. No, I can't remember, but I remember the first man to play.
Baichung.
No. The first man to play actually played for Celtics. He had gone there for a trial. I forget his name. Much before PK Banerjee and thing. And then he did, and they loved him so much. But in those days, professional football in the UK didn't pay that much. Didn't want to stay that long. I think he was a footballer from Hyderabad, if I remember. I forget his name.
See, we know Baichung did have a spell at Bury.
Nazir, or I could be somewhere in that. I'm forgetting the name.
Yep.
But he was the first one to have gone there, and then of course it never materialized. Baichung, yes.
He played for Bury FC.
Yes, but that time was a lower division, right?
No, they've always been pretty much in the lower division. Bury.
Correct. He was there. Yeah. So. Okay, Divyank.
Said yesterday was a clear red card. He's talking about Arohau. Real Madrid and Arsenal for the win. India's two famous books, Concept of Physics by H.C. Verma and Concept of Fans by Sid.
Book. I hope you're working on it.
I am working on it.
Bestseller.
Yes.
Trust me. No book has gotten such pre-launch publicity as your book.
Exactly.
People are already talking about it.
Yes. It is in the works.
H.C. Verma, I remember.
H.C. Verma, I don't
H.C.
know. I'm
Verma,
not-
yeah.
H.C. Verma, yeah.
The book that gave me nightmares was R.D.
Sharma.
Oh God. That book, I felt like taking that book and hitting whoever.
R.S. Agrawal was.
R.S. Agarwal was. No, but R.D. was next level.
R.D. was next level. R.D. was for those who wanted 100. 100 prep, you need R.D. Sharma.
Okay, one more. Sarat Chandra is saying, I don't want to read because he's suggesting something to watch. Sarat Chandra.
Go, just scroll down.
I think he's asking you if you watch CBS analysis. No.
Do you watch his? I have seen a few clips of those. Yes, very, very good. And I think they've now.
CBS, the American ones
Yes.
who have
Columbia
Kate Abdo.
Broadcasting Service.
No, CBS, wasn't it the one with Thierry Henry?
Yeah, Kate Abdo, Thierry
Kate
Henry,
Abdo,
Michael
yeah,
Richards,
that's
Jimmy
right.
Carragher.
So apparently it's now one of the most watched analysis.
Yeah,
It is.
because the clips of those have gone viral for one particular reason. Kate Abdo will always introduce everyone. So it's like three people are there, right? There's
Welcome
Jimmy
along.
Carragher, there's Thierry Henry, and there's Michael Richards. So she'll be like, welcome along. And today for these Champions League nights, I'm joined by Thierry Henry, who's won a Champions League with Barcelona, Jimmy Carragher, who's won a Champions League with Liverpool, and Michael Richards, who got released from his boyhood club. Stuff like that.
Yeah, but also I saw a clip, another article there was that their producers told them not to talk about their contracts, and they spoke about their contracts
Yeah.
on the show. So they were told not to talk, and then they said we're not supposed to talk about it. Yeah, but we'll talk about it.
It's pretty
fun.
entertaining.
It's fun.
A lot of these are nice. Like the Sky Sports ones are pretty fun if you like if you can pair up with Roy Keane for 20 minutes.
And I used to watch a lot of ESPN FC because I love Sid Lowe and their reporters because you really get some inside info in terms of what's happening where. So that was interesting. Okay, on that note, thank you very much. Take care. Bye bye. Good night. Vanakkam, Nandri, Shubhratri, Shabba Khair.
Eat your vegetables.
And don't trouble your mother.
See you tomorrow.